Hi people, it's Sarkovist here and welcome to the Warlords of Draenor Beta. Please keep in mind that this is a beta and therefore everything you see here is subject to change. Okay, so I've actually completed the Tanaan jungle segment of the beta so far, and it was actually quite short, but within that relatively limited amount of time, there was still tons to see and tons to do. Just for a beta, this place is pretty much finished, apart from, as I've shown before, the dark portal needs some texturing. But aside from that, it's more or less complete. I will just quickly interject here just in case there are any misunderstandings. The whole of the Tanaan jungle is not currently available. We are so far limited to the Battle for the Dark Portal area. We saw a good look at many of the Warlords of Draenor themselves, and they all look like they're done. I mean, here's Kil'rogg Deadeye. Look at the texturing on him. It's excellent, really well detailed. You've got Black Hand, who looks great with all the fire coming off him. You've got Kargarth Bladefist, who was in it for a very small amount of time. I think there was even Nazul, who made a brief appearance and caused a bit of calamity for our friends. Well, we did see Gul'dan, but I don't actually think Gul'dan was done. He looked like he was using some armour from his past incarnations. I think they're going to work on him a bit more. As well as the Warlords of Draenor, the heroes that we fight alongside have also got a bit of extra detail on them. Vindicator Murad, a Draenei, looks like there have been some very subtle improvements to the facial detail of the Draenei. It's not a lot, they weren't too bad to begin with, but there's been some enhancements. Nothing compared to the Orcs, but it's an improvement. Khadgar, obviously, although his armour may very well be done, his face, his body, that's the old human model. We are definitely going to see a new version of him soon. Be it within the beta or when the game eventually comes out. Thrall looks similar, but his hood is down, as you can see. Speaking of Khadgar though, I really think he's going to play a big part in this expansion. In some of the mini cutscenes they have in the Tanaan jungle, he does some pretty awesome stuff. There's one bit where he combines frost, fire and arcane to blow open a dam, which is pretty awesome. And there's this other bit where he's doing this teleporting combat stuff, like they make him out to be a proper battle mage. It reminded me of Nightcrawler at the beginning of X-Men 2 a bit. It's really cool. I just want them to update the model because I really want to see what Khadgar's meant to properly look like. Another interesting feature, and I don't know if this is something that will persist throughout the whole expansion, is that the fact that the quest hub goes with you in a way. Because throughout your adventures through the Tanaan jungle, you're constantly talking to, as I've shown before, Thrall, Murad, these people. And rather than you going to a new location and, oh, they happen to be there now, they've teleported, it looks a bit old-fashioned. Now what happens is they actually run along with you, and you can run with them. And so it's like a moving quest hub, because you're fighting your way through this jungle. It's not like you're going up to these pre-established barricades where the main battle's already been there, and you're just coming up to do a little bit of help. You're actually leading the charge with these heroes you love, and it's really good. It's almost like a dungeon, that it goes along at your own pace. I'm assuming phasing plays a big role in it, because it would be weird if you were talking to someone and then they started running away because someone else's quest hub needed to move. So I'm assuming phasing plays a role in it. It's cool to see a bit of action as well. There's one bit where you move into an arena and you're going with all these heroes, and then all of a sudden there's a big fight that breaks out and you have to kill 100 combatants, and the kills count for both your own kills and the kills the heroes get. So it's like you've been thrown into a trap, and you and all these iconic characters all have to fight together. And it's really good because, the characters in the Warcraft universe are really well developed in some cases. And it seems like when we actually fight alongside them, that's typically reserved for things like dungeons, But here, it's like even in the questing element of the game, you can fight alongside all of them. You are a hero among these well-known established heroes. Also, as I've been playing as Shaman, I've noticed one thing that I'm very thankful they've done, and that's the updated Ghost Wolf model. For so long we've been using that outdated model that's based on a Mulgore wolf, and I think you could get a glyph, and this would make you a bit bigger and blue, but it was the same model. Here there have been some subtle changes. You're still a grey wolf, beige wolf, what have you, but there's been some added detail to it, and that's very welcome. Also, I'll quickly read through the level 100 talents that Shamans have. Elemental Fusion, passive. Your Lava Burst and Lava Lash increase the damage of your next shock spell by 50%, stacking up to 2 times. Storm Elemental Totem, instant cast, 5-minute cooldown. Summons an air totem with 6,000 health at the feet of the caster, calling forth a greater Storm Elemental to hurl gusts of wind at the caster's enemies. Each gust of wind does damage to the enemy, and then heals allies within 15 yards for 100% damage dealt, split evenly. Lasts 1 minute. Liquid Magma, instant cast, 45-second cooldown. Empowers your current fire totem with the power of lava, causing liquid magma to erupt from it toward random enemies within 40 yards every 0.5 seconds for 10 seconds. Each glob of liquid magma deals 474 fire damage to all enemies within 4 yards. I will say though, I was very impressed with the conclusion to this segment of the Tanaan jungle. Basically, you get on top of a war machine and you have to start shooting at loads of enemies with a cannon. We've seen things like this before loads of times, but it made you prioritise your targets, so you could quickly kill all the grunts, but you really had to focus on the cannons that could shoot back at you, and also the grunts that were carrying bombs, and that would obviously be very devastating for our heroes, so you wanted to focus on them. Also, the sheer number of enemies on screen was, again, very impressive, as it has been before. And after this, you actually have to run down to the docks with all these mortar fires smashing around you, smashing to pieces. And we don't really see things like that where you actually just have to run for your life. It's a real set piece moment, and then when you get to the docks, we again see Khadgar doing his stuff. It's really awesome, and then we transition to Frostfire Ridge, I believe it's called, and that will be the subject of the next video I do. As always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Subscribe to the Archivist 42 channel for gaming top 5s, reviews, and more.